What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing the match review, match reaction and match analysis of the Champions League quarter-final second leg game between Atletico Madrid and Manchester City, which has seen Manchester City go through to the semi-final of the Champions League to play Real Madrid, but not before we had some scenes and absolute bedlam at the Wanda Metropolitano. But before I crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen. Email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. Leave a thumbs up as well if you did enjoy this video. 100 likes once more is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts of what you made of this performance from Manchester City and your thoughts on the game in the comments below. And lastly, this video, it's sponsored and it's brought to you by OneFootball. This video is brought to you by OneFootball. If you want to download the OneFootball app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of my description, which will take you forward to where you can download this app. The OneFootball app is extremely useful if you are a huge football fan just like me. It provides you with the latest footballing news, transfer news, and the latest videos as well. It is one source of information of where I get my transfer news from. It also allows you to see the latest scores with what's happening in the footballing world. If you just click on a game, including any Manchester City game, it will not only bring up the latest team news, but it will also bring up the latest statistics and keep you up to date with everything happening in that game. If you want to download this app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of the description to stay up to date. Thank you very much to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. If you want to go and check them out, then all the details there in the description. Let's crack on then with this match review first and foremost. And in terms of the actual match, before I start digging into what happened at the end, was a very boring match. First half, Atletico were possessing no real threat to Manchester City. Manchester City were in firm control, not only of the game, but also the tie. We just didn't have the goal to back it up. We should have had the goal through Ilkay Gundogan. We were patient. That opportunity presented itself, unlike in the first leg where we put our opportunity away and opportunities were few and far between. We didn't put this opportunity away. Ilkay Gundogan hit the post. There was an appeal for a penalty and a VAR check for handball, which wasn't given. I didn't think it was handball. I thought the correct decision was made there. And then I thought, right, it's 0-0 at half time. Man City are 1-0 up. We need to be pushing hard to try and get that first goal to make sure we're in a very strong position, because the last thing we want to do is concede and then Atletico get all the momentum going forward into the second half, and Man City find themselves stuck in limbo between should we push to try and get it back to 1-1 and risk going 2-0 behind and potentially going out of the competition, or do you want to take it to an extra 30 minutes and go to extra time and things. That's what City were facing here. So I think City were just happy just to wait for Atletico to overcommit and then try and hurt them on the counter attack. Seemed to be City's danger. The only problem was Atletico were looking very dangerous and looked very up for the game, which you would expect in the second half. They were taking the game to Manchester City. They were working hard, not only with their initial press, they were making sure that Man City weren't having too much of the ball. They weren't having possession. City weren't building up attacks, and pretty much in the second half it was a very poor performance from Manchester City, because we really didn't do that much. We were just waiting for Atletico to do something, try and make that mistake, and then capitalise on that going forward. And what I will say is that if we have a similar game plan in mind against Real Madrid will punish us for that. I feel like Atletico Madrid probably should have punished us. They weren't clinical in this game, and always, every single game that we play at this top elite level, you have to be clinical in front of goal. Thankfully, Manchester City did show that clinical touch in the first leg through Kevin De Bruyne, which is ultimately what sent us through to the semi-final. And you look at the two scorelines, 1-0 and 0-0. They're not classics. They're not something that's going to live in the memory, but Atletico dogged. They made life hard for Manchester City, and Manchester City weren't clinical. Atletico weren't clinical. Real Madrid, they've got one of the best strikers in the world, Karim Benzema. You give him opportunities like what Atletico had in this game, and I can tell you right now, he will get a goal or two. So Manchester City need to be really wary of that. Atletico in that second half were breaking Manchester City apart. There were crosses coming in from deep that City weren't dealing with. There was balls coming in from over the top that Atletico Atletico all too easily were winning the second ball when Man City were clearing it, wasn't clearing it to any of our players, so we just weren't keeping hold of the ball, and when we were passing the ball and trying to work it forward, the attacking players weren't keeping hold of the ball to have anything to build on, and so I just thought it was a very scrappy, very ugly second half performance from Manchester City that causes me a lot of concern. It causes me concern for the semi-final against Real Madrid. They're sitting top of La Liga, they're a very good team, they've shown that against Chelsea, they're capable of hurting from any position that they're in, find themselves in. They can be 3-0 down and still able to hurt you, like they showed against Chelsea by getting a couple of goals, which has ultimately sent them through to the semi-final. They've got the job done at Stamford Bridge, they won 3-1, they know what they're doing. We've got a game on Saturday against Liverpool. They're a team that are very clinical in front of goal, they know where the back of the net is, and so Manchester City need to be tighter, they need to be smarter, they need to be having the defensive line, if they're going to sit a bit deeper, have the midfield line join them and have the attackers then press deeper as well to try and get hold of the ball, to try and build on attacks, and it wasn't really linking up well. It looked very disjointed from Manchester City today. And Manchester City, I could argue, have gotten away with one there, with Atletico not showing their clinical edge in front of goal, and Atletico to put one or two of the opportunities where this would be a very different video that I would be doing. Thankfully Man City have gone through. I do think that we have got away with one today, and we have made it to the semi-final. I think we've shown true grit at the back. We've shown defensively that we are capable of keeping clean sheets against some of the best players in the world. Griezmann, Felix, Suarez, these are excellent attacking players. They know what they're doing, they know where the back of the net is, they know how to score goals, and Manchester City showed that they could cope with that test. And what we have now is a different style of play with Real Madrid. We know what it takes to beat Real Madrid. We've played Real Madrid before in knockout games. We've knocked them out of the Champions League before. They've knocked us out of the Champions League before. So it should be a real good game that against Europe's most successful team, going up against one of the best teams in Europe right now in Manchester City. So we've got a really good, really exciting semi-final to look forward to against arguably the biggest team in the world. So that's our reward. But that you've got to play the best to be the best. And so if we're going to play some of the best teams in the world, you'd rather be playing them quarter-finals and semi-finals and finals rather than earlier in the competition and exiting it, because this is what football's all about, these exciting moments, the semi-final, Real Madrid, bring it on. Cannot wait for it. Now, let's speak about that ending. I don't really know where to start with that ending, I really don't. So it all started with Felipe. He's already on a yellow card. He makes a really good challenge on Phil Foden, goes out of play for a throw-in. Nothing wrong with that. He then kicks out at Phil Foden's back of his legs, which I presume is what he's given the second yellow card for, and he's given a red card for. Now Stefan Savic comes over with the intent, it looks like, to pick up Phil Foden, to even hurt Phil Foden. I don't know what his intentions are, but Oleksandr Zinchenko seemed like Savic had the same intention, whilst Foden's on the floor, and I reckon Foden knows exactly what he's doing, by the way. Oleksandr Zinchenko kind of has to wrestle Stefan Savic to stop him from doing something stupid, and then it all just breaks loose from there. The referee seemingly looked like he'd lost control of the game. He was happy just to take a backseat. Players were pushing each other. The coaches were getting involved. Balls were getting kicked. Ball boys were getting involved at one stage. It was bedlam. It was absolute bedlam. And I can see both clubs, failure to control their players. I can see fines coming in for both clubs here. Man City have picked up 5 yellow cards in this game, which I think means we're getting a fine anyway. And so, yeah, it was chaos right at the end. And Felipe saw a red card, 2 yellow cards. I thought that was justified. I'm not too sure. Stefan Savic seemed like he had it in for Phil Foden all game. I'm not sure how he managed to stay on the pitch, if I'm completely honest. And Felipe went through the back of Phil Foden on his head. Didn't get a yellow card for that. He got a yellow card for a challenge just a little bit later on. I don't know. Atletico are a very... I don't want to say the word because I'm not a real fan of using the word, but they are a very dirty team. They know physically how to hurt, how to upset opposition and get into their heads and try and force the mistakes, and that's exactly what Atletico were looking for here. It looked like they were losing the plot, but actually it was much like organised chaos. They know exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to upset and unsettle Manchester City to try and force a mistake. 9 minutes added on, plenty of time for them to go and cause a lot of chaos. And it very nearly worked if it wasn't for the legs of Ederson making a really composed save. Straightforward save, but a save nonetheless in a situation that we should never have been in. That game could easily have gone to extra time when at that situation in that moment in the 101st minute, that game has no right to go into extra time, but City switch off. Are they upset? The focus isn't there? I don't know, but like I was saying before, Atletico just didn't have that clinical edge, and because they didn't have that clinical edge, they didn't score and they didn't go through, and they should have had at least a goal, I felt, from this game, particularly in that second half. They didn't punish Manchester City. We kept a clean sheet. We keep it at 0-0, and we go through to the Champions League semi-final, which is brilliant. I think there's lots for Man City to improve on for Saturday's game against Liverpool, but I have some burning desires. The first one I'm going to get off my chest, Joao Cancelo conceding that foul and getting a yellow card in the 97th minute. He's now suspended for the first leg game against Real Madrid. That's massive. That's big news because Joao Cancelo has been brilliant for Manchester City. It means that Kyle Walker will be going at right back and probably Nathan Ake going at left back for Manchester City, or even Aymeric Laporte going in at left back and Ruben Dias and John Stones starting as City's centre backs against Real Madrid. But it might help Man City. It might make City look a bit disjointed. I'm not sure. Maybe it's going to be something that City have to trial with in the games building up to that Real Madrid game to see what happens there. Unfortunately, Kyle Walker did pick up a knock. He couldn't complete the game. He had to go off, and so if he isn't fit in time for that Champions League semi-final, we're going to be without Kyle Walker and Joao Cancelo for the first leg. That means John Stones will have to go in at right back and Nathan Ake or Zinchenko going in at left back. That is not ideal going up against a great attack of Real Madrid, players like Vinicius Jr., Luka Modric, Karim Benzema. That's a disaster. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we do have Kyle Walker back and his injury isn't serious, and he'll be back for Manchester City sooner rather than later. At the time of recording this video, I don't have an injury update from today's games. Kevin De Bruyne limped off, hoping his injury isn't serious and he'll be back pretty soon. Ideally, I'd want these players back for the weekend against Liverpool. I don't think either of these players will start or feature against Liverpool. Phil Foden got a head injury as well. Hopefully again he's alright. He played the full 90 minutes for Man City, so I imagine he would be in contention to at least get some minutes against Liverpool and hopefully can stay injury free, and the rest of the squad going into their big semi-final matches against Real Madrid, where we'll have Madrid at home with the first leg and then we'll be away at the Bernabeu in the second leg, which is coming up at the end of April and the first week into May. So there we go. There be my thoughts. Absolute bedlam, but we got the job done. Just about. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't good, but the job is done and we're through to the Champions League semi-final. Let me know your thoughts of the game and the performance and what happened at the end in the comments below. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Aiming for 100 likes, so if we could hit that, that would be brilliant. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 25k subscribers, now less than 200 subs away from 23,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, OneFootball. Thank you very much to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. It's a free app to download. Go and press that link at the top of my description. That'll take you to the download page to download OneFootball. OneFootball will keep you up to date with all the latest football news, transfer news, latest scores, results, statistics, live league tables, live commentary, what channel you can view the game on, and much, much more. Did I say? I might have done. It's free. Go and download it if you haven't already. Anyone that does download OneFootball through my link does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And thank you to everybody that has downloaded OneFootball through my link. And I'll see you all again very soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been hard work. Atletico Madrid first leg, won, tick. Liverpool Premier League at home, drawn, top of the league still, in our hands, tick. Atletico Madrid away, drawn, 0-0, through to the semi-final, tick. One last game of this difficult 2 weeks remains. Liverpool, Wembley, straight up knockout game, Saturday. Not much recovery time for us or Liverpool. Liverpool have rotated a little bit for their game against Benfica. They've got the job done in the end. City have got the job done here against Atletico. It was exhausting them last 10 minutes. What have City got left in the tank? What players have we got available? We've got one last push, semi-finals, FA Cup, Liverpool at Wembley. Let's go and do it. We'll have all the build up to that very soon, so I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Semi-final of the Champions League against Real Madrid. Once more, let's go. Peace. Ciao for now.